Hey guys, it is Maria Park, and this is Approach the Nerd. And in this episode, we are doing our review for Batwoman Season 2, Episode 8. I'm calling it We Made It to Coriana, but not much else. This was a pretty good episode. We got a lot of revelations in this episode. We learned a lot more about Sophia, even though I kind of called Sophia's motivation a few reviews ago. But we did get to see a lot more, especially about we learned a lot more about Kate in this episode. So yeah, before we jump in though, I got to start everything off with housekeeping. So guys, these shows are imaginary. I have to do this almost in every freaking video that I have. These shows are imaginary, guys. So I might say something that you disagree with, and I may say something that goes against your love for your character, your story, your arc, whatever. But I have to say this because I said it a little bit in the live stream last night. And since I said it in the live stream, I think I've gotten 4 comments on 4 different reviews that don't make me upset, but make me a little concerned for the people posting its well-being mentally. Because again, these are imaginary characters. They do not exist outside of these TV shows, these comic books, these video games, these movies, etc. So for you to comment on a review telling someone that they're stupid, they're ignorant, you need to die, why are you bothering with a YouTube channel when you can't do reviews correctly and blah, blah, blah. It does not make me angry. It does make me think that you function at a level that's beyond how my daughter would function when she was a toddler almost 25 years ago. And therefore, that is how I will talk to you. So if you see me in the comment section and you see one of these people that are doing this, again, if you're triggered by this, I am talking to you. If you are not triggered by this, I'm not talking about you. But if you see me say something snarky or off the cuff on here, because I normally don't engage with trolls, it's normally because you've said something that is very amusing. And if you come at me, one, for being ignorant, and I'm not being ignorant, because I could be, everybody could be ignorant. But if I'm actually not being ignorant, and number 2, if you come at me about an imaginary property, comic book, character, movie, whatever, and try and call me out on it, I mean, just saying. I don't have time for this. Oh my gosh. I don't know why it's guys. If you can hear me, I'm gonna read that. Right. I am so sorry about that. I guess I had a power surge because everything, at first my camera went out, and then my Focusrite went out, and then the computer and the monitor went down. I have no idea what that was. I am so sorry. But anyway, like I was saying, I was doing my housekeeping, which I hate to do. Don't leave ignorant comments on my channel if you don't like what I'm saying about your favorite show, character, and blah, 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 because I'm going to treat you like a toddler. And that is literally the overall statement of what I was trying to make there. So let's talk about Batwoman. This episode, how do I put this? I think this was probably one of the best Batwoman episodes to date. I'm probably going to get some flack for saying that, but I really, 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 are you really out here? Guys, remember my stream last night? I told you that the fire, not the fire truck, the trash people come, which is great, but they came at 10 o'clock last night. So why are they outside my window again? Are they like stationed outside waiting for me to do a live stream? It was perfectly quiet. And then I start talking to you guys. I get a power outage, and now I have the garbage trucks outside. I am being sabotaged on this Monday, people. Just throwing it out there. All right. So we finally made it to Coriana. Like right before that, Ryan's dying. She's giving herself adrenaline and pain pill, like pain medication cocktails, which I think is, unless, well, actually, because your heart could probably stop. According to Mary, who says the coolest line, she's like, "Hey, I'm the only practicing doctor without a license in here." I'm like, she knows. But by her giving herself this cocktail, Ryan is essentially speeding up her cell degeneration, and she's dying. Which we know she's dying anyway, because she's got kryptonite poisoning. So the idea is to get to Coriana. And to do that, they put the tracker, Ryan put the tracker into Alice's boot, and Luke tracked her. And he shared this information with Sophie and Jacob. So they're going to go to the island. Luke even asked Sophie to bring back one of the desert roses because their Batwoman is dying, because Sophie's put two and two together saying, "You're working with Batwoman," which of course she is. Of course she is. So basically what is happening is that everybody is trying to get to Coriana simultaneously. So you've got Ryan on standby in case everything goes to shit, because she pretty much knows something's going to happen and she's going to end up going to Coriana. We got we got Sophie and Jacob, who have the location, so they're heading off to Coriana. We have Alice already sitting in jail writing a diary about her sister. She was writing a diary entry to Kate. Ryan was writing a diary entry to Kate. Ryan was saying positive stuff, and Alice was like, "I really want to kill you," which we know she doesn't really want to kill her sister. But everybody's goal is to get to Coriana. Well, Sophie and Jacob get ambushed in the parking lot. They're grabbed. They're taken to Coriana. Of course they are. Which is fine. I mean, that's a one-way ticket there. Now, here comes the funny part for me. So they have to get Ryan there. Ryan decides that she's going to go there. She's going to rescue Sophie and Jacob. She's going to find Kate, and she's going to save her own damn life. Respect. But she says a few things that make me laugh. Like, first, Luke's like, I got you a ride, but it's not the vegan option. So basically, she gets put on with some livestock on a plane, a charter plane. And she's never been on a plane before. That right there was funny. But then she said this would have been a lot easier with the bat plane. And then I got to thinking, if you've never been on a plane before, who the heck was going to fly the bat plane, if you did have a bat plane? You have to have a pilot's license to even fly this thing. And then to add on to that, I love how, they're jumping on Luke about not having a bat plane. He's like, "I'm still working kinks out on the bat submarine." And I'm like, "Why do you have a bat submarine?" And I'm like, "What are you using it for?" I'm like, "In Gotham Harbor?" I'm like, okay, so you don't have a bat plane, but you have a bat submarine. So that was funny to me. Also, I thought it was interesting that, when they were trying to convince her to jump, because, you can't see the island because it's masked on radar. But of course, Luke's able to do it. He's able to locate it, but he says she has to jump. She has to do a halo jump. And she's like, "What the heck is a halo jump?" That whole scene was so realistic to me. And then, you know, he's like, well, you have to make sure you jump now. If not, you're going to miss your window. And then you're not going to be able to use shark repellent because the bat, you know, of course, the bat belt doesn't have shark repellent. Guys, that is a straight up homage to that silly Batman Adam West movie. Let me see if I don't know if I still even have this. I hope I do. I have this somewhere on my computer of the movie where him and Robin are in the bat helicopter and you see Batman like climbs down out of the chopper and then a shark. Here it is. Here it is. Let me share this. A shark like latches onto his leg and I crap you not. He pulls out some damn shark repellent. So let me see if I can find this picture so we can, here we go. This is it right here. So this is it. I'll make it bigger. This is Adam West Batman. This is the shark. Now the shark is on his leg. Like it's literally, the shark should have taken his leg off. And so what they end up doing is they end up getting some shark repellent. And I have a picture of the shark repellent, I believe, as well. Do I? I think I do. Do I? Tell me I have shark repellent. I do have repellent. Okay. So the shark repellent looks like. So let me share this picture too, because I'm like, I can't even make this up, guys. This was literally in the movie. This is the shark repellent. It even says shark repellent with the Batman logo. So yeah, that was why Luke said, because basically he said there's no shark repellent in the bat, belt, and of course Ryan's like, why not? And he's like, because that's stupid, and that is what they're making fun of. And I thought that was hilarious because when me and my spouse first saw this movie, I think it was on Netflix at one point, and we saw that it's literally the opening scene of that movie. I laughed so flipping hard. I'm like, this man has some damn shark repellent, and like he didn't have it in the bat belt. Robin had it, and he had to climb down the ladder of the helicopter and the shark off his leg. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. So I really, really thought that was cool that they were making fun of it because I've been making fun of that damn scene for years. All right, so Ryan makes it to the island. She sets off an EMP. Now, Luke was very thorough. He gave her like 4 or 5 EMPs in case, I guess, she dropped one because she only put one down. She had like 4 more. And what that did is it knocked out all of the, electricity or whatever they're using for electricity to power the, anything on like the handcuffs or whatever on the island gets completely wiped. And so, through the electromagnetic field. So she drops it. She takes on some of the guards. They beat her butt. They bring her in with Sophia. And Sophia is already talking to Alice. Alice has brought the guy, from the body from the morgue where she stitched, Ocean's face over to make it look like Ocean. It's not really Ocean. And she's very paranoid that Sophia, Kate, she keeps saying, give me Kate, give me Kate. And, of course, Sophia is still stalling. And then, of course, we understand what the problem is. And I said this before. Now, it's a little bit different in the comics. Once again, she does kidnap Beth. She does make her into a very horrible version of Alice. But it's Kate Sophia was with. She didn't have a thing for Beth. But in this version, because it's the Arrowverse, she was in love with Beth. She had a thing for Beth. Beth had a thing for Ocean. And Sophia was jealous. She was in her feelings. And yeah. So with that being the case, I don't know how, and I don't know why Sophia, I know why, because she was set up and she used it as an opportunity to get back at Beth for hurting her feelings. But I don't know when she concocted all of this idea, but she literally came up with this thing of I'm having lesbian drama. I love Kevin just said exactly what I said. This is all lesbian drama. That's what it is. All of this happening with Coriana and everything is because Sophia was in her feelings because Beth didn't want her and wanted her adopted brother. And she didn't want to kill her brother and she didn't want to kill Beth. So she basically wiped their memories, sent Alice back horrible, and got rid of Ocean, just dumped him in the middle of nowhere. She actually to me, she's a good villain because that's messed up. I really enjoyed the banter between Batwoman, or Ryan, I guess, and Alice, because Ryan, even though Ryan is still in her feelings about Alice's gang killing her mother, she was like literally Dr. Philling, Alice when they were walking the cell together in this episode, to the point where she was like, I know you don't want to kill yourself. I can see it in your eyes. You don't want to kill your sister. No, you're just angry. You're a victim too. And I'm like, oh, that is good and bad, because you're humanizing Alice. And we know that Alice has a little bit of humanity, but they're actually making it seem like they're redeeming her. And that is actually scaring me a little bit, because I kind of feel like Alice at this point is going to turn into Red Alice. Because think about this. She was tricked into killing Ocean to get her sister. And when I say tricked, she did stab Ocean with this knife, but it was coated in Desert Rose. So apparently if you're stabbed, the moment you're stabbed, it already starts fixing your arteries, which is pretty damn cool if you think about it. But that means she can keep you in some kind of suspended animation as long as the dagger's in you. That's pretty cool. But see, Alice didn't know that. Alice literally was like, I'm killing this guy I think I love to save my twin sister. That is not the work of somebody who wants to kill their sister. That is somebody who wants their sister back, which I'm completely okay with. But what's so interesting to me, so interesting to me, is that Sophia never had Kate in the first damn place. As far as I understand this, Sophia's never even met Kate. This was all a setup to get back at Alice and Ocean. That is effing brilliant, guys. That is brilliant. She strung all of these people along because she was hurt with lesbian drama. I mean, my hat's off to that. I don't have any complaints to that. That was a beautifully executed thing. And, Ocean is alive. And that we learned that Tatiana was the one who killed Alice's gang, sent the message saying it was from Sophia, was setting all this stuff up because she thought Sophia was too obsessed with Beth in her feelings. So there's that. Beautifully executed. Some things that I thought also was interesting is we got to see Kate. So when Alice went into the room, we saw the red necklace that their mother gave the twins on their birthday before the crash and before everything went wrong. And the room literally was strung with all of them. They're just like hanging from the ceiling. And so Alice like flipped the hell out. So Alice was doing all this to get to her sister, and her sister was never there in the first place. Now, whenever you do this to Alice, we have learned, like when she found her mother's head in the freezer or fridge, whatever, that's when she loses her shit. So you basically just gave her another moment where she realizes her sister may actually be dead. And then she went the other way. And she did the one thing that she knew would destroy Sophia, and that was burning her damn desert roses down. She burned the whole flipping rose field down. I was like, now, do I think that that's all a desert rose? No. They probably have saplings and seeds somewhere. I mean, this is a generational duty. Like Sophia is one of many in her family that's had to guard this flower. So I think that they have to have, other flowers. But what's interesting to me is that if Sophia chooses, this is her way off this island. She feels trapped there herself. So by not having anything to guard, she can live her life. And that makes her an even scarier villain, because now she has nothing but time to plan revenge for what happened, even though technically it would be a good thing for her. So then that whole scenario would be great. Like her actually finally getting revenge, and she'd be motivated by, a spurned lover taking everything from her as well, which means Alice's life would be forfeit because Sophia was not trying to kill her because she still has a thing for her. But now all of her flowers are gone, which to me was the most important thing to her. Yeah, that's motive for revenge. So Alice probably effed up a little bit. I will also say that Ryan was given the ultimatum to either take the flower, the cure, or to save Kate. And she chose to take the flower, not because she was saving her own life, but because she knew Alice wasn't really going to kill her sister. So I thought that was also interesting. But she ended up getting the flower anyway. But the kicker to all of this cray-crayness is that none of them had to go to the damn island to begin with. Kate was never there. And Ryan's beautiful plant that she's been carrying around all this time is a freaking desert rose because she got it from Angelique, who got it from Ocean, one of the saplings more than likely that he had. And she's been carrying the cure in her van now / apartment with Mary and in the Batcave the entire damn time. Like, that is beautiful. She just has to stay alive long enough to get back to Gotham for them to synthesize this cure. But yeah, this was a really good episode. This episode was really good. But we do see, after they've told her to get her butt back to Gotham, because, you know, your plan's basically the cure, we do see the Gotham barbershop, and there's a vent. And then under the vent, you see someone wearing the red necklace and having the same flash our memory of the mother talking about the color red and what it signifies and blah, blah, blah with the necklaces. And we know that's Kate. So it did not look like Ruby Rose. It looks like it's someone else. I have not had a chance to look up any news on it. But more than likely they have recast her. But that means Kate Kane is coming back. And I don't know. She does not look good. Her skin looks very bad. She looks messed up. We still have no idea who even blew up this plane. I don't know. I don't think Todd blew up the plane. I mean, I think she orchestrated everything else, but I don't think she was behind destroying that plane. Like, who put her down in the manhole? So there's a lot more to this that we're not seeing. My money's on Black Mask. I think she got too close to something and it was a Black Mask thing. But this whole episode was like a maze of information. I'm like, this is cool. This is what episodes should be like. We should have episodes like this all the time because this one was beautifully executed. This is my favorite Batwoman episode to date. So very happy. But guys, just think about the scene of Ryan jumping out of that plane. It was hilarious. She's like, I think it's a good time to tell you I've never ridden in a plane before. And then she's going to jump 33,000 feet, from the plane onto an island you barely can't even see and hit it with pinpoint accuracy, doing a halo jump that she didn't even know the name of while being sick and of course not having shark repellent. So I'm like, hilarious. It was effing hilarious. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. All right, let's see what you guys are saying. Maybe Black Mask blew up the plane. I just said that. LOL. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Black Mask. I think he's behind that. I think that's how we're going to get our introduction to him, is that he is the one that orchestrated all that. I loved all the twists. I did too. What did you think about Ryan giving Mary her plant? I thought that was a really cute scene. I'm kind of mini shipping them a little bit. I know that sounds weird. I know, another queer girl looking for another queer couple. I get it. But I just feel like there's some chemistry there. And I know a lot of people really want her, Mary to be with Luke, but I love their friendship and I love their brother-sister dynamic. I really love it. And I mean, seeing Luke and Mary be romantic with each other actually creeps me out a bit. I know that, I mean, if you guys are into that, that's fine. I just don't see it. And so, like, I just feel like Mary and Ryan eventually could be a thing. And I love that she gave Mary. She didn't give it. She didn't say, give this to Angelique. She didn't say, she didn't say, hey, Luke, watch my plant. She told Mary, she's like, Mary, keep my plant alive. Now, I will say what's funny is that Mary's like, I can't do that. I'm not that person. She's like, I couldn't even keep my Tamagotchi alive. I'm like, oh, I used to have those little digital pets that I would forget to feed. That makes so much sense though. But Mary, being a, non-licensed doctor, has been keeping many people alive. But you worry about the plant? I'm like, Mary, I'm like, who wrote that for you, baby? That wasn't your life. But I think Mary and Ryan are very cute. And I think eventually, just like when Ryan was talking about what happens when Kate gets back, and Mary's like, I don't know. I don't think she's going to boot you out. And then Ryan's like, well, there'll be 2 Batwomen. That's going to be very awkward. And she said, I don't know what's going to happen when Kate gets back. I just know I want Kate back. And Ryan's like, looks at her and says, I know. And that's when Ryan's like, I'm bringing your sister back. And I thought that was they just have very sweet moments with each other. So again, I hate that I'm being this person. I'm trying to make another queer couple because I'm queer. I get it. But I actually see it. I see something there. So I don't know. I'm hoping that they kind of fly with that, because my fear, guys, my fear is that it's going to be Sophie, because Julie came back in this episode, was badass. Like she took out one of the many of arms assassins that Sophia sent. She just literally took something, took a dagger out and killed her like immediately, because Julia is that badass person. But I like Julia with Sophie. But in this episode, Ryan told Sophie, will you stay with me? I don't want to die alone. And they were holding hands. I'm like, oh, Lord, Buddha, God, whatever God you follow, Messiah, I don't know. Please don't let them pair these two people together. I even said this last night in my charm stream, because we talk about random shit. I said I will be very disappointed if they pair Sophie with Ryan, because they're just trying to do something with Sophie. Sophie needs to have her own life. She can go back out with Julia. They are fine. They are a good couple. She does not need to be paired up with Ryan just to be Batwoman's B. I can't handle this. I can't handle it. I can't. I will not have Sophie be the community Gotham hoe, because she slept with Kate and she slept with Julia, and then she'd be sleeping with Ryan. I can't do it. I refuse to accept it. It's not happening, guys. There's a siren coming, but they agree with me too. Or maybe they're just coming for me. I don't know. But guys, no. No. Just so we're clear. Maybe they'll pair Julia and Ryan. Okay. I'm not opposed to Julia and Ryan, because I didn't think Sophie treated Julia. That is really loud. I'm going to pad these windows, guys. I promise. Kate has been recast. Wallace Day what? They got Wallace Day? What? Okay, I am cool with Wallace Day being Kate. Now I'm mad though, because I really like Javicia Leslie as Batwoman, but I would not. I repeat, I would not be unhappy if Kate was around and was helping out, like if Kate was helping out in like a Bruce Wayne Batman Beyond capacity. I would not hate that. I wouldn't hate that at all. Wow. I need to look more into this, because Wallace Day would be perfect. Honestly, I thought Wallace Day would be perfect as Kate Kane originally. So that is cool. Ryan don't need no rebounds. Ryan needs to get her butt over this Angelique heifer and let her go. Let her go. Let her go. Let her go. Do I need to have Elsa come in here? I'm a singer. I will make this for you. I will write a song about the reasons why you need to not be with this woman. This woman literally broke your heart, and not even an episode later already had a lady over. I mean, come on. Ryan, let it go. Just let it go. They said Wallace Day is Kate solidified Ryan as the main Batwoman, which probably means Kate will be a supporting character. I am down with that. I would be so effing happy if that happens. Oh, guys, you're making me happy right now, because I did not know that they cast Wallace Day as Batwoman. I'm learning something in my own stream today. I am, wow. And you know what? I really liked her on Krypton. So let me get the picture up. Let's get the picture up. I'm going to let me stare at this a minute. I'm in my feelings right now. I am in my feelings. You think I like the episode now? I'm gonna love the episode when they reveal her as Kate. That is going to make me extremely freaking happy. I'm guys, guys. Wallace Day is amazing actress. Oh, and like she kind of favors Rachel a bit, doesn't she? She looks more like Rachel than Kate did. Let's see. Let me see if I can pull this picture up, because if you look at her, she looks a lot like Alice, to the point where it's creepy. Like they're actually related. I will be down with this casting. Okay, this is a good one. Look at that. Tell me she does not look like, just tell me she doesn't look like Alice. She looks a lot like she has similarities to Ruby. So I do see why they cast Rachel, because Rachel and Ruby do look a little bit alike, but she looks so much so much like Alice. If you put blonde hair on her, like put on Alice's blonde wig, tell me that she couldn't be the twin for Alice. That is creepy. Why did they cast her? Like, we wouldn't even have, but okay, then we wouldn't have Ryan. And again, I do like Ryan, so I can't hate on that. But oh my gosh, they look so much alike. Craziness. Craziness. I think that recasting before wasn't the right timing narratively, and they were looking for the right moment to do it. I mean, it made sense. Yeah, I get that. I mean, I think going forward, Javisa Leslie is our new Batwoman. But again, there are so many different roles that Kate Kane can take, and that makes me excited. So I am down with that. I want to see how Kate Kane and Ryan, talk to each other. Because let's be clear, Ryan sometimes talks a little out the cuff a little bit, gets a little bit in her feelings, likes to say stuff, can't handle it. So she talks a little mad crap. And Kate's kind of like the one that just kind of looks at you like, okay, you done? She doesn't really react. So it's like she has that she's almost a Vulcan, like monotone in response. So even when she's mad, you don't know she's extremely mad. So it's like, I would love to see an argument between these two because I don't know how that would play out. It would be funny. It's interesting to hear that she auditioned for Kate and now she has the part. It's interesting that she didn't get it originally. Did they watch her in Krypton? Like, I'm just putting it out there. No hate on Ruby Rose. I'm just saying she was a very cool character. I don't think that we would actually have Ryan, though. Like, I think everything happens for a reason because Ruby was destined to leave this show. If Wallace had been there, we still would have Kate Kane. That's just the reality of it. The only difference is that she have to deal with the negative feedback as well from all of the trolls out there that were saying, say about female superhuman taking on men twice their size. Bullshit. And I'm like, this is why I really want somebody that's in these people's lives that are female, that are smaller than them to just whip their butt. Because I think they need that lesson to know that it's not about your size. It's not about strength. It's about skill. I've taken martial arts for a very long time. A big chunk of my life. I mean a damn thing how big you are. I mean it. Let's see. Yeah, she looks like Rachel and Ruby at the same time. She does. She looks like a little creepy hybrid of them. And she looks just like Ruby. It's perfect casting. I agree. I do agree. They are very similar. If I put that blonde wig on her and put them side by side, it would be uncanny how close they look. I think I already read that one. So let me go up. Read that one. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to make sure I get everybody's comments. They faked Beth's DNA, so it was obvious they faked Kate's. But see, I want them to understand that this is all black mask. This is all black mask. Because we don't know who Kate was investigating. We know she was going to talk to Kara about getting rid of the kryptonite, and that's why she was on the plane. But right before she left, we have absolutely no effing clue what case she was working on, who she was tracking. We don't know any of that information. We just know from point A when she was on the plane to point B where they thought she was in Coriana. So we don't know anything prior to that. So there's a lot of mysterious stuff Kate could have been doing and working on that we're going to find out later on. And if this is like, if she was tracking Black Mask, the Faceless Society, all that stuff the entire time, why didn't Luke think maybe somebody on, that they were up against was behind this? Why isn't that something he didn't think about? So there's so much, that needs to be explained, but I thought you were going to say it's not about size. It's about heart. It's not about size. It is about heart, madness, and in most scenarios. But the bigger you are, it is true, the harder you fall. I'm just letting you know. It's true. I've sparred a lot of guys I'm 5'5". I've sparred guys. My training partner in my Taekwondo class for 2 years was an awesome guy named Chris Davis, and he is a second-degree black belt. I was a red belt, and we used to spar, and I used to trip his A all the time. Because you look for advantages in fights. You don't just, it's just, there's a lot to fighting that people don't get. It's not all about the size. And I hate that counter argument because you can always find anybody's weak point. Everybody has a weak spot. You just have to find it. and size doesn't have anything to do with it. So it's always been a stupid argument to me. Is Mary Batgirl in the Arrowverse? Is Mary Batgirl in the mist? Okay, Madness, you have to explain that comment to me. Chashin said, get them thumbs up, y'all. Yes, please give me thumbs up. I've had a very hard day. My power went out in the beginning of the stream, so for a whole 4.5 minutes, I was gone. My camera light turned out, and the trash men they're just stalking me. They're just sitting outside pretending to pick up trash because they don't want me to have a volume-free, soundproof live stream with you guys. They want to experience my real life going crazy, which is why when I have my voiceovers, I have to get into a sound booth. I own a sound booth because the outside world hates me. One of Thailand's greatest Muay Thai champions is 5'4", and his opponents are typically 6 foot and above. I'm telling you. Hi, Ito. How are you? It's been a minute. Has work been killing you? Bart Allen. I love your name, Bart. You are my replacement for Barry. Can't wait for either Batwoman. Oh, wait for either Batwoman to meet Tobias. Why are you in my soul, Bart? Why are you? Do you know how much crap would go down if Tobias was in Gotham City? Especially since he name dropped Gotham. I think it was either late last season or early this season. He talked about Gotham. Do you know how much crap would go down if Tobias Well was to take up real estate in Gotham City? The crows would be gone. There would be no damn crows. Woo! Speaking of crows, I love the shade. The absolute shade Tatiana was throwing on the crows when Tatiana told Sophie that Sophia wanted to keep her because she wanted her loyalty. So when Sophia wants your loyalty, she wants your lesbian drama. That's what she wants. That is what she wants. Woo! 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 I was like, I knew she was checking up the last time she was in. Sophia is like not playing around. You got all these people on the island. Some of them are women. And you got to go off the island to find them. What is going on with that? But I did love the shade. And I love that Sophia stabbed Tatiana in this episode and was like, you're the betrayer. You didn't want me to be happy. You set everything up. All of my problems are your fault. Don't pull this dagger out until I decide to forgive her. I'm like, wow. It makes me wonder, though. It kind of looked like Tatiana was in the ocean a little bit, but I think maybe that look was actually because she knew that Sophia was going to be hurt because she was in, Sophia was in the Beth. It's a mess. I hate how the flowers burned down. I don't think they're all gone. As somebody who grows plants, expertly on my balcony, what do I know? And who goes to Home Depot and Lowe's a lot because they have plants, and so when mine die, I can just replace them. Again, what do I know? I feel like if you have an important flower like the desert effing rose, you have seedlings, you have backups. This is a generational thing. Her family has been guarding these plants or these flowers for lifespans. So I don't think that field of roses were the only desert rose, plants on that island. I just don't. I think that was just one overpopulated field. I think she was more heartbroken because she's attached to all of these flowers and they were burning. But just play devil's advocate, like I said a little while ago in this stream, if that was, quote unquote, the only desert roses in existence, and Beth burned them to the ground, Sophia is going to leave that island, and shiz is about to get real. I'm just putting it out there. It's going to get real because now Sophia has no reason to be trapped in this guardian role on this island because they've already established multiple people that she wants to leave that island. She doesn't want to be trapped on this island. That's why she makes everybody stay on the island so they don't leave her alone. That is her. Sophia's biggest fear, as far as I'm concerned, is being alone on that damn island. That is what it is. And then she just happens to be gay. So, and every woman she thinks that's in her automatically needs to be loyal to her and be her biatch and her hair as a roseness. So, just saying. I will tell you this, though. Had she met Wallace Davis as Kate Kane, it would have played out just like that comic book. I'm just putting it out. Just like the comic book. I've read somewhere in the Arrowverse fandom that Mary is similar to Batgirl in the original comic. I think she's a cousin to Kate, and in the Arrowverse, Mary is a stepsister to Kate. Yeah, though they've had a lot of different variations of Batgirl, so this is true. Mary, though, I mean, she's kind of like a lot of different characters. I mean, I even see a tiny bit in her, honestly. But I kind of believe that they're trying to make Mary the heart of the series, because you always have that character that's the heart. Then you have the tech nerd who's quirky and makes all the jokes, and that's Luke. Then you have the badass, which is normally the main character. Or the main character thinks they're the badass, because in the Flash, technically Barry's not even the badass. So they have that role, though. They are the lead protagonist. And then you have the little side characters that are kind of playing the field. They do their own stuff, and they come in as supporting roles, like Sophie and sometimes Jacob, even though he does it inadvertently. He doesn't realize he's helping Batwoman, but he is, and sometimes. So, yeah. Let's see. Malachi, I knew Ryan's plant was a desert rose. Yeah, well, they kept stressing that Angelique gave it to her, and then you saw the connection she had to Ocean. So, yeah. But I mean, think about that. Think about how mad they are. We did all this work, went all the way to Coriana, and this damn thing has been sitting here the whole time. I started realizing how important the plant was too when Mary was trying to get it, because it was underneath the assassin, and she's like poking the assassin. She's like, I got that plant. And it looks like, leave the damn plant. And she's like, no, it's Ryan's plant. I'm like, yeah, there's something else going on with this plant. When I first heard that they were doing it, I thought it was just because the actress herself has an affinity to plants. If you actually look at her Instagram, she has like 5 or 6 plants like children. She takes them out and brings them back in. Those are her babies. They live in her trailer. So more than likely one of those plants could have been her plants. But then when it fell on the ground, I'm like, that was either her plant or it was a stunt plant. Like, it's a stunt plant. But Alice's actress, Rachel, also is in the plant. So they have that in common. But yeah, I thought it was very interesting that the entire damn time, like literally Ryan has been taking care of her own cure this entire time. She's been growing and keeping her cure alive the entire effing time. Mary is the moral compass. Yes, I think so. Although she had moments has faltered, whereas Ryan has allowed her to talk her into allowing her to try and kill people. And Mary, being a doctor and taking the Hippocratic oath, she can't. Hippocratic oath says you can't kill. You basically save lives. You don't believe in taking them, and so she's kind of been skirting that line a little bit because of her mother, being killed by Alice. So grief will mess you up, guys. Let's see. They added Ryan to the comics. Have you read those new issues yet? I've seen her. I think her very first one was in Batgirl in the late 60s or mid 60s issues. I have it. It's somewhere either behind me. I have the hard copy and I also have the digital scan. So yeah, because I remember in that one, Barbara actually worked more as kind of like a support system for Ryan, because Ryan was living in her van and she was like asking her, has she gotten a job yet? Keeping up with her. And she actually believed in Ryan. So I thought that was cool that Barbara was like somebody that Ryan already knew prior to even meeting Luke and Mary. So it's pretty cool. Also, how convenient that Coriana and Gotham seem to be so close, because otherwise Ryan would have died on the plane. Look, we've already established when it comes to like critical stuff, emergency situations, everything's in driving distance. Because I still, we'll talk about this in the Snyder Cut a little bit later today, because I'm still planning on doing that. I moved it a little bit later, but how in the hell did Martha Kent get from Metropolis to Smallville when she realized Clark was alive that fast? She doesn't have any powers and she's in a beat up truck. It should have taken her 2 days to get there. He didn't have that kind of time in this movie. So yeah, it's a thing. It is a thing. For a second, I thought she killed that girl this episode. Oh, Tatiana? Yeah, well, I knew she didn't, because she just literally explained how there was desert rose smeared on the blade. I will say, well, I guess technically there's no disease. I'm like, it's a good thing that, Ocean doesn't have HIV because you stabbed him and then pulled out of him and then stabbed it to someone else. And then you just gave her whatever he has. But since this plant has healing properties that are automatic, apparently, it just put her in suspended. She's asleep. She's in suspended animation. Okay. If Kate has been recast and actress is playing a living Kate, who was found in pieces? Good question. That's a good question. This Black Mask could have been anybody. Honestly, they could have gotten her DNA because they have her, smeared it on it, and then because they found pieces. I mean, it could have been a finger. They could have done something with a print. I mean, it could have been anything. And you can justify saying that the prints were burned off in the fire from the plane. So there's a lot. I mean, if you char flesh and then you spread DNA on it, I mean, it's hard considering what type of it was. We already got that one. Sorry. No, I meant Mary. I thought Mary killed the soldier. Oh, you mean when she hit her with the vase? Yeah, I knew that she didn't kill her. I'm like, she didn't hit her hard enough for that. She knocked the stuffing at her and she was bleeding a little bit. Already saw that one. I love Batwoman. Do you think really enjoy it? Otherwise, you are confused. Yeah. Well, and see, that's the thing. I love Batwoman, but there's so many plots going on. And that's a CW trope, though. They do this a lot in every show. They like to have multiple things going on. You can just say, oh, that, but what happened with that, and what happened with that, and what happened with that, all at the same time. And you can literally see that across every CW series they do. Not just Arrowverse. Every series they do this. In Batwoman, there's so many plots that sometimes you forget about a plot until they revisit it. Like, I love Julia. I straight up forgot she was even gone. I'm like, so she came out there like, Julia, you're back. I'm like, holy shit, you are. I'm like, where have you been? It's just the nature of the writing of these shows, unfortunately. But yeah, you have to pay attention to a lot of CW shows or you will miss things. You'll blink and miss it. And just like this episode, I probably blinked and missed something. There's probably an Easter egg for something that I missed with Kate laying and underneath the ground on the street. That manhole outside the Gotham bar, more like in front of the Gotham barbershop. I don't know why she's so messed up. I don't know. I mean, guess she was in the fight, or maybe they beat the crap out of her and it's all dry blood. I don't know. Her skin looks messed up. And she's unconscious, but she's wearing that necklace. So it's her. It is her. Alice, you monster, Sophia, and I created you. So what does that make you? Me, redeemable. I don't want them to redeem Alice, guys. She's fun. She is fun. Besides, she can't be redeemed for all the people she's killed. Yet she has a lot of trauma. She was a victim, but she still chose to kill people. That's what she did. So I don't know. I don't like that. Scroll up. I feel you, Maria. I think I may have a bunion in my right foot and it sucks. Man, I am falling apart. I still have my heating pad. I feel like I'm 80 years old. I pulled a muscle somewhere and I'm still not feeling that great from yesterday, but we're gonna power through. Me, you, this heating pad, and your bunion, Kevin, we got this. Okay, let's see. Now the Bat team can mass grow their own garden. I wonder how that works. They have one flower. Is it just one flower or is it multiple flowers? And one thing I'm scared about is that Hamilton Winters is going to get their hands on it and they do shady crap. So that could be a problem because Hamilton Winters is going to want that cure. So really is, the Crows are going to want that cure too if they figure out that they have the actual, the Desert Rose. So in a way, they have a target on them now. Because if Batwoman tells Sophie, oh, I'm cured, or Sophie already knows because she got the call, and she tells her boss, you know what's going to happen. Everybody's going to effing know that the Desert Rose is in Gotham now. So it's going to be, I think there's going to be a lot of problems. But I think Sophia is coming to Gotham. Because she pissed. Grow it in the Batcave. I think she can be a little crazy and comedically snarky, but for the good side, they can make it work. I think Alice would be better playing both lines. She's always been a character you sympathize with when you saw her backstory, but then you see all of the damage that she does, and you see that she's also not that redeemable in terms of who she is now. I think what they're trying to do, though, is they're trying to make it Sophia's fault. Sophia made her what she took, that trauma, anger, and she turned it into pure rage and made her into a psychopath. Because let's be clear that Alice still has no problem cutting people's faces off and sewing them on other people. She has no problem doing it. She doesn't have her stomach does not turn. She doesn't want to pass out like I would. It's just, she is down with that. She has no qualms about doing it at all. She had no problem taking that body from the morgue and doing it. Yes, the guy was already dead, but she had no problem taking skin and making Ocean's face. And I mean, I just think that's creepy. So I don't know. Possibly. I mean, when Black Siren turned good, I thought they handled it decently. I mean, I personally like how she was redeemed. Black Siren still is a little bit like, they didn't really redeem Black Siren. She still is capable of killing people. She just doesn't do it because of the company she keeps. So I don't know if that's technically the same thing, but remember, Alice had no problem committing mass murder. She's like, I don't care. Why are there only 2 Bat vehicles available to the Bat team? Bart, that is a good question. And a better question that I asked earlier, if you missed it, is what would they have done with the Bat plane? Who's going to fly it? If Ryan has never been on a plane in her life, how is she just going to automatically have a pilot's license? I mean, I guess they could have done like an autopilot thing, but that could fail. I don't think Mary's going to be flying anything, and I don't know if Luke knows how to fly the plane. Who is going to fly the Bat plane? They need this thing called a Bat Flight Simulator. There's snakes on the plane. You're not going to land the plane how many times you've locked in on a video game. So, but I'm also more curious why they have a Bat submarine and not a Bat plane or a Bat chopper. Because I feel like a Bat chopper or a Bat plane is more effective than a Bat sub in Gotham Harbor. I mean, I guess if you're fighting King Shark, but other than that, what are you going to do? Are you going to meet up with Aquaman? I don't get it. So, and what kinks are in the Bat submarine? Maybe location? I don't know. I don't know. Hire a new butler, laugh out loud, a new Alfred. There will never be a new Alfred. Alfred is God. I'm like, watch your mouth, Menace. I think they need to bring Alfred to Gotham. His daughter's there. They need to bring bring him back to Gotham. For all we know, Batman is living with Alfred somewhere in England, incognito. He's scrolling up. Sorry. Okay, we read that one. Okay. Abby said, oh my God, I missed something great. I must watch it. You didn't watch the episode yet, Abby? We are spoiling you. I'm sorry. But no, so like back to the episode itself. So like, again, great episode. Many questions like location, how people get to and from. Because like, honestly though, it makes you wonder how far Coriano really is. If they were able to charter a plane that fast, it really makes you wonder how long Ryan was sitting on that plane. If she only had 24 hours to live, that is a very, very short trip. So I don't know. Do you think Talia has Bruce? Possibly. Or Raj Al Ghul? I don't know if Raj Al Ghul is even still alive. Didn't he get killed in Arrow? I stopped watching Arrow after a while because I was getting annoyed. Especially when Oliver defeated Raj Al Ghul. I was like, there's no universe where Green Arrow beats Raj Al Ghul. I'm sorry. I can't suspend my disbelief. I'm sorry. I can't do it. You are not going to tell me that Oliver Queen is going to use his privilege in life to beat anybody from the League of Assassins. No, I'm not buying that. I'm sorry. I'm not buying that. I'm not subscribing to that. That is not a thing. Those 5 years that you spent off and on, off and on the island, because that's what happened. You were taking field trips off the island. Did not give you the skill set to take on Ra's al Ghul. No. I didn't even think he was able to beat Sarah. So the fact when he was beating Sarah sometimes kind of irritated me. Like there's no universe where Oliver Queen beat anybody in the League of Assassins. I hated watching him fight Nissa. I thought that was the stupidest thing I ever saw before my mouth. This is a girl who only knows how to fight, who lived her entire life being trained by her father to kill. And you're going to tell me that Oliver Queen whooped her ass? No. I call it BS. You want to talk about something that's BS? That was BS. So yeah. If you ever had another kid, would you name her Coriana? Seems like a pretty name for a person. What are you doing to me? I'm like, well, if I had another kid, TMI, I would have to have a sperm donor. So even though my spouse is trans male, we don't have the equipment to make a child together. And then I'd have to give her the fact that I have a medical condition that makes me no longer able to have children. So that actually is more of an adoption thing at this point. And then trying to get a kid adopted in this climate with so many anti-LGBTers, that is a problem, especially since I live in the South. And that's a whole other can of worms I don't want to talk about or get into right now. But to play devil's advocate, would I name my child Coriana? No. It is a really cute name. I would name a plant Coriana because I do name my plants. I would name my plant Coriana. But I don't think I would name my Coriana because I don't want people going through life saying, why is your name Corey and Anna together? What's this? Coriana? No, I'm just setting this child up to, for failure. So no, I would have to find a different name. Probably a comic book character, but no. But I would name a plant Lady Shiva. I might have already done that, guys. Giving you a glimpse into my life here. I have done that. I have a Lady Shiva plant. It's fine. You didn't hear that. Here we go. Before Crisis, Thea and Nisa turned League of Assassins to the League of Heroes, but after Crisis, they abandoned that, I guess. They didn't abandon it. CW did because they forgot it happened. That's what happened. The few good ideas they had, they trashed. That's basically what it was. Like, I've always felt it was interesting that everybody went back to their respective parts of their Earth, and then all these other Earths, like all of our main canon ones, except for Stargirl, were all on Primarch together. But yeah, if you go to Ireland, nothing changed. Like, nothing changed for Jefferson. They picked up right where they left off. The only thing that changed is that Jen was no longer floating around through different multiverses as spirit energy, and they came back and then he informed Gambi and everybody what happened during Crisis. But like, there was no other change. And the problem that I also have with Crisis, which I always said, is if you're going to have Black Lightning in a series where you're having heroes fight, please give him more than 15-minute combined screen time. And then why in the hell would you leave Thunder and Lightning out? That makes zero sense, especially with a TV series that has a higher population of metahumans than mostly all the others. Yes, The Flash has some too, but I mean, with the metahuman kids and the green and everything that was going on with the ASA, they had a huge pool of metahumans to pull from. So that whole thing to me was stupid. Just stupid. Crisis was dumb. I mean, why in the hell would you save Lois Lane and not save a whole freaking planet full of Kryptonians that can save the day? You had a whole planet of Kryptonians and you saved Lois Lane. Don't get me started on don't. What do you think of the new Batwoman? In the comics? Or Ryan? Are you talking about what do I think about Ryan? I like Ryan. I think Ryan needs to trust her team more because she gets a little off the cuff with them a little bit too much and a little too quickly. She she definitely is more of an emotional character. She acts more on emotion than Kate really didn't do that as much. But outside of that, I like Ryan. Ryan's a cool character. If that's what you're talking about. Thunder Lightly will probably be in the next crossover. I'm hoping that they, especially because they recast Lightning. I'm hoping that this is why they did that. I'm hoping that they are. I'm interested to see how Painkiller plays out because it looks like they're trying to become anti-heroes. So we'll see what happens with that too. Like they seem to be taking the latest Shiva route. Like I'll help when needed, but leave me the hell alone all the other times. Nyssa is still good, but she and Talia just left the league instead of taking command, or maybe they formed a new one elsewhere. Yeah, we have no idea, and I don't know why. I know Katrina Law, who played Nyssa, went on to that show Hawaii Five-0, but she was still available for the Arrowverse. I have no idea why she wasn't involved in anything. It hasn't been seen since. So that is a problem. And now that we know that we're not getting Green Arrow and the Canaries or whatever it was going to be called, that they decided to pass on that. Nyssa, who trained, Oliver and Mia Smoke, basically. I feel like that was the last thing we saw her in. So I don't know. Like, it's almost like after Crisis, even that, like everything Arrow got erased, kinda. I'm still hoping Diggle has the ring though, because I think that he needs to come in as Jon Stewart at some point. But I mean, I might be holding my breath on that one, so I don't know. I mean, I think if he goes into Stargirl's universe, he's fully capable of being a Lantern there because they're on Earth too, so that has there's no connection with Prime Earth. So I could see him, especially since they have Eclipso, we're getting Jakeem Thunder. We've seen them drop the freaking Green Lantern. We've seen the Green Lantern Charger like 6 out of 7 episodes, and it was glowing. That is an indication that there is a ring, and there potentially is someone found. Now, my dream is that they bring either Jon Stewart in or Jessica Cruz, which I would be happy with. Will they bring Jessica Cruz in the Stargirl? I have no idea. Do I want them to? Hell yeah. Especially if she's older and still has PTSD. I don't want them to not keep her storyline because I love that she is a character that deals with PTSD but still has to go out and be a Lantern. I love that about her. But they probably won't. The showrunner said that they want to tell the Green Arrow and the Canary story in some form. But in what? I mean, what are they going to wear? In the Flash? Supergirl's going away. Black Lightning. They would not go to Black Lightning's Freeland. Nobody goes to Freeland. So where would they tell the story? I'm really curious. That's interesting. The Green Lantern story will be addressed. They stated it needs to be. That's something else. That's a little bit of a spoiler for my for my Zack Snyder cut. In 2.5 hours. The fact that we didn't have any more lanterns in this. I mean, because there always has to be a lantern assigned to different sectors. So Earth has a protector. And if it's not Hal or Kyle or Jon Stewart or any of the other ones that we're used to, it could have been somebody they made up just for this movie. But like they specifically said, we have no more lanterns. I'm like, why did we not have any lanterns? We saw one in the past get his arm chopped off. Why didn't... And that's not a spoiler for this one because it actually happened in the original one, Justice League movie too. And that was in 2017. But I thought that was interesting. But I'll get to all that later. I like how Superman and Lois is based off of Smallville. We already saw Lana do this. We will see Chloe and Pete Ross and Superman and Lois, just different actors. I am wondering if we're going to get Pete because, Pete and Lana were his buddies in the OG Superman comics, in the Superman television show, or Superboy television show. They also had Laura Lamaris, the mermaid. I don't know if you guys remember. Do you remember Laura Lamaris? She's a mermaid who Clark had a thing for as well because, he was a little bit of a player. He had some issues. Superman wasn't just sitting around saying whatever. But let's see here. Let me see if I can find a picture of her so I can show you. It probably won't be the best quality, but I think I can find a good picture. Here's one of Lori Lamar. So I remember reading this when I was younger and thinking, oh, so now he's dating a mermaid. Like, I mean, so let's see here. This is, let me go to share so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Where are you? I think you're in this window, but hold on. Let me pull it out. I love how on OBS you can just share, but here you got to make sure you have the specific window open. Okay, so this here is Lori Lamaris. And I know this is a smaller picture. I'm sorry about that. But she is like, she was technically his girlfriend, I guess, in a way. Let's see if I can make this bigger. There we go. That's a little bit bigger. So she was his girlfriend for like a mini series before she went back to the ocean because she couldn't sustain herself on land, which was so damn funny. But I don't know what he thought was going to happen. We can love each other in the sea. Like she literally could stay on land for a certain amount of time, but then she had to go back into the ocean. She literally was like Ariel, but without, the help of human legs all the time. But I really would love to see if they introduce this character in any capacity because she was in it. And he was with her. And like, I think a lot of people forget that. So I don't know. Because everyone knows about Lana. Everybody knows about Lois. But a lot of people didn't know about Lori. He has a thing for L's too. L names, I guess. It's really weird. Sorry. Let me get this one. Chloe's Smallville actress got into some crazy ass trouble not too long ago. Yeah, she was in a sex cult or was recruiting women to be in a sex cult and sex slavery and something wrong with her. When I look at Smallville now, whenever I see anything with Chloe, and I'm thinking, wow, this was all going on while you were filming this. This is creepy. It's just creepy. She looks like a predator now to me. It's horrible. Do you think we'll see Pete and Chloe? If we see Pete and Chloe, we will have to have a Chloe recast. It'll be this version because they did name drop Chloe in Supergirl. Because remember, Supergirl said, I got this information from Chloe's Wall of the Weird, which is an homage to the original Smallville, but it looks like it's more this Clark Kent's Chloe. I don't know where Chloe is now because if he knew Chloe in high school, then she would live in Smallville. And unless she also in this reality is married to their reality's version of Green Arrow. But see, the reason I'm saying this is the reason Crisis messed so much crap up is in Elseworlds, the Superman and Lois we have now were on the Smallville farm. They were basically the reinvention of this Smallville, the Smallville that we all knew. But then when they did Crisis and Tom Welling agreed to come back to Erica Durant, well, they couldn't have our current Superman and Lois, Smallville OGs came back. So then they became their own universe. And now this one is their own universe. So now I have no idea what the hell's happening. And that is a problem that I have with Crisis. They didn't think this crap through because they dum-dums. Just like when they had the Birds of Prey cameo. Well, Rachel Skarsgård, who's in Batwoman, she played Dinah's daughter in the TV series Birds of Prey. She could have reprised her role. Started on this. They weren't thinking at all. They just were rushing that stuff. What if they age her down and make her a love interest for Jonathan? That could happen. I mean, it seems like right now there's going to be a love triangle between Sarah and the boys. That's what it looks like. I sent you a quote on one of the past videos and you liked it, I think. I like a lot of stuff, so I probably did. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Now, please don't ask me to remember because I don't remember what I had for breakfast. That's age for you right there. Eric Wallace said he wants to bring back the Arrow characters that were left showless. He is starting with Mr. Terrific. I want Eric Wallace to reinvent Mr. Terrific. You can still do it with the same actor, but make him more badass and make him not be somebody who has to listen to anybody because the man's supposed to be super intelligent and very independent and doesn't need anybody else telling him how to do his job, what to think and how to solve stuff. So I'm down with that if they do it correctly. I would love for them to bring the Luke from Crisis on the Batwoman because the Luke Fox we got in Crisis is a lot more similar to, the Luke Fox in the comic books. So I would absolutely be over the moon if Luke just started talking crap, that people be like, you want to do this shit? And I'm like, you got this, right? I'm like, I ain't got time for that. Like, he had no problem taking out a gun and shooting you. I mean, no problem. I love that Luke. This Luke is adorable. He's cute, but he's not meant to be. Luke Fox is not meant to be cute and adorable. So I suspend my disbelief, though, because again, Arrowverse is its own comic bubble, so it is what it is. Eric Wallace is a comic. I know who Eric Wallace is. I want him to reinvent Mr. Terrific for the Arrowverse, because they have a lot of comic writers besides Jeff Johns that have helped. Well, I don't know if they've written scripts, but I know that they have said in the past they have had them in the writer's room, which is interesting to me considering how stuff goes down, that give input on storylines they've written, characters they've had flesh out. Even if they didn't create the character, they go in and say, well, this is how we do this here. So if you're going to do it for Arrowverse, maybe you should try doing this. Now, again, I don't know how much they take, like, input wise from this, because I've always heard that during Bryan Singer's run in the X-Men movies that I shall not talk about, that he had a lot of Marvel comic writers, in like kind of like a focus group type scenario where he would pick their brains about stuff he was doing. But I'm telling you now, we know that he never listened to any of that. So I don't know how much input they actually have overall in the decision-making process, but I know that DC comic writers are asked to come in to CW to give input on stuff, especially Jeff Johns, which is why the reason Stargirl is doing as well as it is because that is Jeff Johns' baby, because Courtney is written, it's basically based on his sister who died. So that's why when you look at Stargirl and you're like, okay, well, this is kind of cool, is literally because he's not just doing Stripes, he's literally basing it off his sister. So he is not going to have a show that is that close to him be picked up by the CW. If no other show, anything that or special treatment, that one will get special treatment. That is why Jeff Johns is so hard, hands-on with Stargirl. So Eric is the one who fired. I know who Eric is. He fired Hartley. Is Hartley? What is Hartley's last name? I feel like when he was fired from the show, I forgot his real name. You know what I'm talking about. Elongated Man got fired by him, and he wrote a very long tweet about it, apparently. Like I said, I'm not on Twitter as much, so somebody posted it on one of the videos I did in the past. It's pretty long response, and I think he got a lot of hate for it. But there's also a comic book writer named Eric G. Wallace that works at DC, and I'll have to find his profile, because he has worked on Green Lantern and a bunch of other stuff, and he is Hispanic. And I will find it for you. Sorry, my stuff is loading very slowly. So while I'm trying to share my screen at this time, let's see. Stargirl was good. Can't wait for season 2. Yeah, I think Stargirl is going to be one of the shows that's going to get a very good treatment. Hold on. Yeah, I'm scared to mess with, it's lagging. Let me know if I start lagging, guys. I think it's definitely a StreamYard thing. I think I told you guys in the stream last night that I pay for not the business version, but the professional version. And I'm pretty sure the Turnout, who I do a lot of collaborations with for Charmed, has the same setup I have with StreamYard. And I've been noticing in his streams too, that it's been freezing or it'll slow down. And I think that is definitely a StreamYard problem. I don't know why, because none of my other programs do this. And I'm hardwired directly into my router. So I know it's not a connection issue because I'm not physically losing. I'm not dropping. If I do a speed test, I'm not dropping anything. So it's interesting. I need to figure out what is going on with that. But let me know if I freeze or if my audio, because audio sometimes will just randomly go out too. And I don't know why. That seems to be, my theory is there's too many people on the server. And I don't think they thought about this or accounted for that, because when Zoom first gave a lot of our business stuff, like I use Zoom for work a lot of them got business accounts, it would crash all of the time because everybody and their mother was on Zoom. And I think this is what's happening with StreamYard. So I've been clocking it. I'm literally recording this in OBS. So if I have a droppage, I can cut it out and send a video clip to them as a reference, because I really need to figure out why this is happening, because we pay for this, and I'm not going to pay for something that's just going to drop all the time. So I don't like the quality jumping. So you're seeing that, Ito? Okay. So going forward, I know this is a lot of work, but if you see me dropping, try and look at the time code and tell me in the chat where I drop, because I'm tracking this so I can set up a ticket so they can fix this problem, or I'm just going to stop paying for it. That's basically what's going to happen. What do you think we will see with Gleek come around? Okay, Jermaine, tell me exactly what you're talking about. I'm sorry. Because I'm crazy, or wait, are you talking about the character Gleek? You mean as in the Wonder Twins, the monkey? I don't think we're ever gonna see Gleek. Like we saw, we're never seeing the Wonder Twins. You got your Wonder Twins in OG Smallville. That's where you got the Wonder Twins. I don't think we're ever going to see the Wonder Twins. I don't think they're even trying to revisit. We don't even have a Justice League anymore, because half the people in their established Arrowverse Justice League are no longer around. Like Black Lightning's gone. Kara's going to be gone. Technically, Sarah's still around. So we'll have Sarah and we'll have Barry. Kate Kane is alive, so I guess she'd go sit there. I don't know what she's going to do. But everybody else is gone. There is nobody else to go in there. Ryan Choi, I guess, could pop in. But where's Ryan? Was Ryan in Legends at any point? Because I didn't see a lot of the last season. Did anybody see Ryan Choi? They made a huge deal about him becoming the new Adam, but like, did it actually happen? So these are things I need to know, because I feel like they just did this stuff. They came up with these ideas and they went nowhere. Let's see. Yeah, there are some audio and freezing issues. So StreamYard is happy. That's what I thought. So StreamYard is going, like I said, I've been gathering all of these clips and all of these like times or videos that I know it's happening, so I can give them a reference. And I'm going to, if I can get time codes, if you see any time codes from any of the streams forward, especially the one this afternoon, please let me know, because I am sending this in a big ticket, because they are going to fix this crap. It's what's been holding me up about doing our like memberships, because I want to do special streams where we just like, hang out and talk about whatever, kind of like what we do after I do reviews. We still talk about whatever. Well, this will be an exclusive, like member only type, live stream where we get to say whatever we want, and it's not going to be published for everyone. So I literally don't want to have that and have people memberships, people join my memberships, and then the thing freezes and then cuts off and does all this crap. So it's very frustrating when you're a content creator and you want to be able to engage with your audience, but you're so worried that you can't be heard, or that your video is turning off, or that it's freeze. It's just very frustrating. So, and I know it's frustrating for you guys, because you guys are taking time out of your day to watch me basically be like Max Headroom. I don't like it. So yeah, we're going to fix that. We are going to fix that. They're building to that stuff. They go to eventually probably in the next season of Legends. So they have, but has Ryan done a cameo at any point? Like, I know John Constantine was in it for a bit. I don't know if he's still in it. I love Constantine. I don't know if he's still in it, but have we seen Ryan post Crisis in Legends or any other Arrowverse show? I haven't seen him in any other Arrowverse shows, but maybe I blinked. Maybe I missed him. Have we seen him in anything else? Because I don't think we have. I really don't. Just because it shows and that doesn't erase the characters, they can still make appearance. I do agree with that. There is a live stream software you can use. It's called Prism Live Studio. I can look into that. I mean, the only problem is I paid for this in advance. So like it's paid. Does that make sense? Like it's not like a month to month. It's like for an entire year. So they're going to fix it. Or they're going to refund my money. That's how that's going to work. But I will definitely jot that down. Prism does sound cool. I used to use OBS, but I've noticed that OBS linked in directly into Facebook sometimes works, sometimes does not. So yeah, I don't want to have it's just a headache that I don't need. But But he was referenced in Flash season 5. He made the ring very useless. I do know they reference him a lot. But I want to know where he is, why we haven't seen him. So I don't know. It just the whole thing, Crisis just boggled my mind. It really did. It happened multiple times during today's stream. Oh, see, and you know what's so weird? On my end, I don't see it. Like, it's not happening on my end. It's only happening on your end. So, like, if it freezes and I'm talking, I don't see me freeze. I don't see the video. None of that. None of that happens on my end. So unless you say something to me, I don't even know what's happening. I'm going to talk to Eloy about this too. I just want to see, because I know I saw it in his last charm review. He was talking and then his audio went weird and his mouth kind of froze for a second. And I know it's not his connection because he's similar to me. We pay for like unlimited internet. We have, I pay a lot of money for internet here, and my router is pretty good. And no one else in my house. There's 3 of us connected, and we're all hardwired. And no one else has this problem. And both my spouse and my daughter both work, and they both work with programs all day. And we've never had an issue. I don't have an issue in Zoom with work. I've never been bumped off. I don't have an issue with anything else. It is literally live streaming. It makes no sense whatsoever. And the reason it also bothers me is I can open a game in Steam that you need the internet for. I can have it running and minimize it, then open a YouTube video and play that, and then upload a video to YouTube at the same time, and no problems. But yet I get in a live stream and it freezes. That makes no sense to me. So that has to be the software. There are too many people on the server, and I don't think that they're allowing for that. Isn't Crisis just as confusing in the comics? It is, but it's actually, at least you get very interesting side stories. And you don't have Bebo, and you don't have Anti-Monitor be weakened down and liquidated down and have this whole character assassination of his character where you can literally take a 45 and shoot at him and injure him. We're just going to shoot you with guns. We're not going to bring out our bad Kryptonians. We're not going to bring out anybody with actual abilities that can fight you, because we don't need to. Because all we have to do is just keep shooting at you with our weapons and then shrink you. That's literally how you defeat Anti-Monitor. It's so stupid. Bebo was more of a threat than the Anti-Monitor was in Crisis. That is sad and ridiculous. So I have a lot of problems with that. I just have a lot. There were no point to these paragons. What was the point? We didn't need to use a book for anything. Except for apparently you can just erase somebody's name and put your own name in, and then you become that paragon. You're a paragon of love. I want to be the paragon of love. Erase Barry Allen. Maria Park. Bam. I'm the new paragon, because that's what Lex taught me in this show. I have a soft spot for Bebo. I don't have a problem with Bebo per se. I mean, come on. He's a stuffed animal version of Voltron, because that's how they formed him. Like they were freaking Voltron. It's just putting him as a threat in Crisis was dumb. It was just really dumb. Wait, Superman was in Crisis for the final battle, right? Yes. Well, so Supergirl died in the comics. Superman did not die in the comic version. In this version, Kingdom Come Superman was just erased by Lex Luthor. And there were no Supermans in the final battle because Superman and Lois's Clark died with Iris because he was left. I guess he was deemed as not necessary. Why would you not another Kryptonian? But whatever. He was seen as unnecessary. So he was blimped out of existence along with Iris, and everybody left, on the Wave Rider. And one Superman they did have, Kingdom Come Superman, Lex Luthor, erased his name in the book and made himself a paragon in his place. So there were no Supermen in the final battle. There was Supergirl, but there was not Superman. So you had her flying around. But why would you have a Kryptonian fight when you can just shrink him and shoot him with guns, which is what Alex was doing, from the DEO. They're just sitting here firing weapons. And I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't have time for that. Okay, I'm going to talk about a few more things because you guys are going to see me again in like 2 hours. So I'm going to make sure because we're doing our stream. I might move it to 5 though, guys, because I want to space it out a little bit. So I might be changing it again to 5 o'clock because I want to make sure we have a gap so you don't get sick of me today. Let's see. It's definitely an issue with StreamYard because I've seen this issue before with other YouTubers. Okay, that's good to know. They need to fix their crap. It's very distinct. The feed locks up and your voice begins lagging. I always thought it was my connection. I don't think it is. I think it's StreamYard. Because, I mean, if other people are saying it, it can't just be you. Unless all of you are on the same service provider living in the same area. And that I can believe. Not saying if you're not on a Wi-Fi connection, you can't have that issue. But I think it's just too many people telling me this for me not to think it's me. So I think it is me. Some people theorize that since in Superman and Lois, we saw that evil Superman, the next crossover will be Injustice. It was apparently supposed to be Identity Crisis before COVID. Yeah, I know they were going to do Identity Crisis. I have no idea what they're doing now because they don't even have plans to do a crossover because of COVID. And I don't know when we're going to get that crossover at this point. So still up in the air. You're a mom? Yes, Emmanuel, I am a mom. I have been a mom since 1996. And I also have a dog, and I've been his mom since 2014. So I have a lab mix, and he thinks he's a human. So technically I have a son and I have a daughter. My son is 7 years old, and which I guess really is 14 in dog years. And my daughter will be 25 in September, and I will be 45 in December. I'm probably one of the only YouTubers that will tell you their age because I don't care. I'm like, I don't care. Isn't Crisis just as confusing in the comics? I think I already answered that, and the answer is still yes. I'm just glad we got Iris back from the Mirrorverse. Yes, she needed to get out of the Mirrorverse. So many people hate her, though. We had that conversation yesterday. They are not Iris West fans. Okay, where we talk about that one. Okay. Oh, quality jumps about a bit. Yep. I'm sorry, guys. I am really sorry. I'm going to fix this, I promise. Quick question. Will the Fate Wing Saga review still be uploaded, or did I miss it? You did not flyer. I appreciate you telling me not to stress myself out. I'm doing it anyway. I'm a Sagittarius. It just happens. I did redo it. And I need to so it's really large. So the first problem I had was actually a codec issue. So the video and the audio was being really, really weird. So I filmed it in a different program, and it's fine. It's just very big. So I need to get something that's not between 10 and 11 gig to upload to YouTube because it takes so long. It takes almost 4 hours to upload something to YouTube that's that large because they have to compress it. So the upload is not the problem. It's the processing to HD and standard definition that takes effing forever. So I'm trying to shrink it a little bit. And I don't want to edit anything out. So that's been the problem. But I mean, it's actually a pretty lengthy. I think it's under 10 minutes now. So it's not bad. It's just big. It's just a big file. And I need to figure out why. Because I don't even have any video clips. All my stuff are pictures and voiceovers and video of me. So I don't know why it's so large. And it was large in Premiere. It was it's just large. I might just have to suck it up and just spend a little time uploading it because the reason I've not done it is because I'm doing all these other videos. And so if I'm uploading that, I can't upload this 4-hour video. It's been crazy. I almost broke down and did a live stream on that, but I was like, no, I worked on this video. I filmed it twice. So it is coming. I promise you. I even have my thumbnail. I'm so upset. When I have the thumbnail, I consider myself done. So for me not to have the video up already, it's irritating me greatly because I'm done. I did it. It's over. I need to move on to other videos. So there's that. But it's coming. It is coming. I also have my there's so many videos that I've already done. I haven't finished editing. I have 2 interviews that I've done that I have to post. And then I also have there's 2 anime that I did. One is a Yuri that I've already filmed that I need to upload to. So that's going to be a second because I'm trying very hard to get this Fate Wink Saga video fixed. So yeah, it's going to happen. It is going to happen. But just like tonight, I normally do a Black Lightning review, but I'm going to combine it with my other two Arrowverse shows since we do an Arrowverse Tuesday. It just makes more sense to have all three. And the last one I did with all three did not go very long. And we actually got through all three and we answered a lot of questions. So I kind of feel like I'm going to keep that trend going because I really like being able to talk about all of the Arrowverse shows together. Because when we talk about one, we end up talking about the other ones anyway. So might as well just have them all together. So that's what our Arrowverse Tuesdays are going to be. So that is going to happen. Dang, you're young for a mom. Did your daughter see her birth season Zio, the most important seasons for Hasbro? Yes. My daughter was raised on Super Sentai, Tokusatsu. You know, we love Kamen Rider in this house. One of my favorite Tokusatsu shows ever, technically, is Garo. Love every version of Garo. So yeah, she was raised watching Power Rangers too. So she knows every theme song, even though she's not as into it as I am, but she had no choice but to watch it because mommy watches it. And mommy had the TV. So yeah, she's seen Zio. She's seen Lightspeed Rescue. I think Lightspeed Rescue was her favorite for a very long time. But yeah, I don't know what her favorite is now. I need to ask her that. But she is into dinosaurs, so she has a lot to choose from. But yeah, she's watched Zio. Zio is her jam. Even now, although she doesn't like Kat, and I don't know why. She's never liked Catherine. She was a Kimberly girl. I guess she couldn't handle the change. She said, "But mommy, she's too tall to be the Pink Ranger." I'm like, it's fine because the person in the suit is not really American, or in Kat's case, Australian. It's actually a Japanese guy, sometimes girl, but not American. So yeah, this was filmed before Catherine, and she's like, I don't care. She shrinks whenever she turns into the Pink Ranger. I remember this conversation. It was hilarious. She was okay with Justin growing in Turbo, but she was not okay with Catherine shrinking. So, and Zio, she only shrunk a little bit, but in MMPR, when she took over Kimberly, she shrunk a lot, and my daughter could not emotionally handle this change. So it's funny. What is your favorite crossover Arrowverse has done so far? Elseworlds. I think that would have been a better Crisis, honestly. Have you seen Kamen Rider Saber yet? I have seen Saber. I am on episode 9. I love May. I love Toma. So much about this show. Any show that's based off of books and fairy tales, I am there. And this is a spoiler, but my favorite attack is Tinkerbell. And Kevin, if you've seen it, you know why. I freaking love it. I can't wait till we do Charmed review. So I did one yesterday or last night. I'm not sure if you were in that one. So do you mean that when we do another Charm review? Because I will be doing again on Sunday, but I tend to do them after the series ends. And disclaimer, the first 50-ish minutes is Charmed related. And then after that, we just start talking about everything. So you know how we do on this channel. The Tinkerbell attack was that Tinkerbell attack made my day. I saw that. I was like, what? I'm in Japan. What are you doing? Zenkaiser, I'm still having issues with. I always give everything 3 episodes. I have seen episode 2. I'm not vibing with it. I'm just not. And I don't know why. And it's making me unhappy. But I'm not. I'm just not. Newsflash, though, I will be doing a Tokanger review / unboxing because I have the Morpher and I have 3 of the trains. I'm getting the other 3 because Joe's Geek Show, his wife is stationed in Japan. So I've been having him go to Sky Mall and going through all the Sentai stuff. And he's been sending me stuff from Japan. And so I know I'm getting a smoky lamp for Maji Ranger. And I'm also getting Luca, Gokai Yellow, some of the dolls or figures for her. As well as potentially Aimu, Gokai Pink, because I love Gokaiger. I'm going to see what else I'm going to get to. I'm going to get a few things because I collect Sentai stuff, memorabilia. So there is that. And I also have a video of Maji Green from Maji Ranger, saying hello and thanking me for watching the show from years ago. My friend Kyle Aber, he was a guest at an anime con that I wasn't a guest at, and they happened to be guests together. And so he filmed him saying stuff to me, and I have that video, which is really cool. I'm a huge Sentai nerd. And Elseworlds were excited when the Smallville theme song played. I think the best part of me, or my reaction to this, the best part for me, was the wedding scene when they were fighting the Nazis. Seeing Wally West take on 3 of them made my day. There were so many elements of Elseworld that I loved, that I got amped for Crisis because of Elseworld. So when Crisis came out, I found myself saying Elseworlds was actually my Crisis on Infinite Earths, because Crisis sucked so much. So if you're going to ask me what my favorite overall thing about Elseworlds, it's that it was better than Crisis. And that's the truth. It was much better. The build-up, the execution was a trillion times better than anything they did in Crisis. And they spent more money making Crisis. And that is a shame. So, yeah. I loved Elseworlds. I loved how awkward Alex and Sarah also were with each other, because they hooked up, and Alex is not a hookup girl, but Sarah very much is. Sarah just went about her day like it was nothing, and Alex was like doing the walk of shame. I freaking love it. Yeah, I guess after Kiramager and Zenkaiser has some tough shoots. I mean, when I first saw Kiramager and I saw that they kind of like were diamond themed and they were sparkly, and the Red Ranger would just like Eureka himself a lot and then start sketching, I thought, okay, this is silly. But as the show went on, I actually really, really liked it. Even though I still feel like the Pink Ranger being a surgeon was weird, because she actually was like the #1 or top surgeon in her field, but she still had time to go off and be on a Sentai team. So I thought that was interesting. But, I have the same questions about Power Rangers. If you watch my Power Ranger review, I'm still trying to figure out why they try to have the Red Ranger get a job. He lives in a spaceship underneath the ground, where all of his lodging and food is given to him for free. Why would he need money? But I'm just putting it out there. I don't get it. Can't wait for the other stream, because I have many thoughts. Yeah, I have a lot of thoughts on it. I did not hate the movie. I know Blurred hated the Snyder Cut Justice League movie. He did not like it at all. I didn't hate it. I just had questions. Because I just nitpick things. That's what people tell me, but that's what reviews are. If you're reviewing something, then you're questioning things and you nitpick, because that's what you do with a review. I don't know what they think a review is. It's not a reaction video. It's a review. A reaction is like, ooh, bye. There's really nothing to that. But review, you actually have to talk about stuff that you don't understand, or you have questions about, and things you did understand. So yeah. Oh yeah, Ernie hated the hell out of it. I called him. I didn't see his stream, but I called him and he was breaking it down for me over the phone the other day. I was like, yeah, I can see your points. I can see some of the problems he had, and we'll discuss that. But there are also, I felt like the Justice League movie was light years better than, the Snyder Cut was light years better than Whedon Cut. And that's just true. Now, some of the stuff that was in the Snyder Cut should have never been in the Snyder Cut, but that's later. Zato wants to blend in, and it's his way of learning more about Earth and humans. Not by being a reporter for Buzz Blast, though, because you kind of have to know about the world that you're writing in. You have to write about things from different objective angles that you don't have, because you haven't lived on Earth to be objective. So that's the wrong job for him. So it's just silly. It's all silly. Plus, does Amelia own any other jackets? Does she always wear that pink jacket? It really bothers me. Do you hate Megaforce for unexplained Sentai footage? There's something worse than Dino Charge and Ninja. Still, I despise Megaforce, especially Super Megaforce, because I love Gokaiger and they butchered my show. So that's just it. And calling the Galleon the Zordon's Revenge really irritated me. I'm like, really? really? And having all of these Sentai teams that were never introduced over here and calling them legendary powers and naming it, oh, these are the space power, the space Sentai or space Rangers. And I'm like, they were not Power Rangers in space. That was literally Flash Man. I'm like, stop doing that. Do not use previous Ranger footage if you've never had these Rangers ever in your canon of your series. You could have used anybody from the PR legacy. You could have had the Morphe Masters in there for all I care. Why would you take Sentai series you've never had in your life on any Power Ranger show and use them as legendary power? No, they can bite that. No. But since we're talking about that, guys, I've already said this a lot about Megaforce. If I was writing Megaforce and it's very quick, I would have made it so they lost a legendary battle, but something happened and they were able to go back in time. And then to save themselves and the Earth, they had to go find all of the different teams and convince these people they've never met before in their lives to lend them their powers, hence power keys, for the final battle at the end. That would have made so much more effing sense than the BS they did for Megaforce. But whatever. They can bite it. Bite it. Let's see here. I'm making sure I got everybody. I'm sorry, guys. I think I did. I think I might have. Except you can't wait for Supergirl to return. Doesn't it come back in a week or two? Oh no, I actually need to look into that. I'm not sure. I'm so behind on Supergirl, but I guess I'll check out the last season because I did like Lena and Kara, and I was convinced for a while that they were queer. Then I'm like, am I just saying that because I'm queer? I don't know. I see stuff there too. It's weird. They do act more like, like everyone's like, oh, they're just best friends. I'm like, there's some things you just don't do for your best friend. I'm sorry. That is not how best friendships work between women. There is, at some place you have to stop being, your heteronormativity needs to just go away because I'm sorry. I love my best friends, but I'm not going to jump out of a helicopter when my powers aren't working to save them. I'll try to save them. I'll try to catch them, but I know if I jump behind them and I have no powers, then I'm also going to die. So I don't feel like, and don't think of me as a bad person for saying that, but when Kara does that and she's affected by kryptonite and she doesn't have her powers and she's still trying to save Lena, that's not just her being a superhero. It's just because she's trying to save Lena. It's always been her trying to save Lena. Scared that Lena won't want to talk to her, scared that Lena won't be in her life. There's a scene in Supergirl that I saw online. I didn't see the episode where I guess Lena traps Kara in some way and says, you lied to me about being Supergirl and blah, blah, blah. And Kara says, you broke my heart. And I'm like, that is not a friendship. That is something else. They just don't know what it is. So yeah, it's interesting. They do. What did you say, Kevin? Supergirl was totally queer baiting Lena and Kara. Oh yes, since season 1. And I think it ticked a lot of people off, especially when they came around and made Alex, gay. It made a lot of people mad. For being unexplained makes it easy to explain, girls. Although it could have been avoided. Wait, for being unexplained, it makes it easy to explain, girl. Although it could have been avoided. Which one are we talking about, Emmanuel? Are we still talking about Megaforce? Are we talking about any of the series we were talking about? Sorry, my brain went off. Let's see. Okay, a couple of more. I really think. Did we? I think we did answer mostly all the questions. What? Megaforce. Yeah. They just needed me to write Megaforce because they wrote Megaforce idiotically. I understand doing Ghost Ager was hard because they're angels, but there's still ways around all that. There's ways around all that. But when you came after my Gokaiger, you should have known Maria was coming at you. The earrings were coming off. I've made everyone who knows me in this channel knows I have never, even when I first got on Ernie, I think my very first video with Ernie had to be, I think it was a Sentai themed or Power Ranger themed video. And I'm telling you guys, I was talking trash about Megaforce then. So just saying. Just saying. Let's see. Please catch up. It's great. Catch up with what? And I got one more thing to say. All right, Manuel, you say your one more thing. Do you hate Olive Crisis, or was there anything that you enjoyed, even something minuscule? I like Luke Fox. Let's see. I love Kevin Conroy as Batman, even though he was crazy, because he's been a lot of people's Batman, even though he was animated for years, since he was a voice actor, not the actual actor. But I love that they included that, so that was cool. Let's see, what else did I like? I like it ended. I like I like Ryan Choi's character. I just think that he learned to fight very quickly watching YouTube videos, because like he didn't have any fighting skills and he was out there fighting, and I thought that was interesting. I liked Rory's reaction with Jonathan Kent, baby Kent, how he was the only one that could calm the baby down when Monitor was talking to them. I like Brandon Routh, seeing him back in his universe as Superman, because his Kingdom Come Superman was pretty damn cool. I just hate what they did to him. I feel like he got shafted, because Kingdom Come Superman is very strong. One of the strongest, for me, incarnations of Superman, and he literally got shafted like Black Lightning did. I would like to say that it was interesting that all of the black characters were ninjas, because they were in and out like nobody's business. It's like, where were you been, Diggle? I've been here the whole damn time. This is something that you'll actually hear a lot in my parodies. If you haven't checked out my Crisis on Infinite Earth episode 1 voice cast parody, it's on the Nerd Stream. And we are almost finished with episode 2, which is like the continuation. And that is something that we stress a lot, is that if you are a black superhero, you are a ninja. That is literally your superpower in the Crisis on Infinite Earth miniseries, because you are in and out. Like you're like, look, like you're in the Leaf Village, just like Naruto called you home. I don't know what it is, but it's crazy. Warriors leaving Legends. I don't know. I have not caught up with any of the Legends news, so I don't even know who's in Legends right now besides Ava and Sarah, to be real with you. How do you feel about Ninja Steel and Samurai and Dino Charge? I did not like Ninja Steel. I really did enjoy Dino Charge. Samurai was a very interesting take on cultural appropriation, because I couldn't figure out how any of them were related to actual ninjas, or samurais, should I say, because that is a deeply being a samurai is a very Japanese traditional, historical thing that I don't get at all, how these people, especially Jaden, who was blonde with blue eyes, had a Japanese last name, was a descendant of actual samurai in Japan. I rewrote that, so it kind of made sense. I made it so the actual Japanese Sentai team lost a fight and they were split up, and the team's ancestors helped them. And then they basically had the powers handed down, because pretty much they became retainers because they aided the actual team in some way, and maybe none of them had descendants, and so that is how they became descendants of these original characters. But then it was made more problematic for me when Japanese kanji, an actual writing system in Japan, became known as like power symbols and characters that they could just write like power symbols, basically. And this is a language, and I'm married to a Korean American. It's like saying, oh, this is Hangul. No, these are power symbols that only the Power Rangers can write in the air. And it was really weird. It was poorly thought out. I don't know. It was problematic for me. Okay, let's see. 14 time monsters we know are from other dimensions or are destroyed in Dino Charge and Ninja Steel altogether average 7 mess ups more than 6 Sentai teams' original footage ruined original continuity. I agree with that. I still enjoyed Dino Charge because they made it a little bit original, but they still kept to the main theme of having to find these, I'm not going to call them Dino keys because they weren't Dino keys. They're like Dino gems. or something like that. I did like that. And we've got our first ever, and then I guess really only Black Pink Ranger, because this is the last live action one we're going to see that's based off of Toei. So unless they do something completely original, this is the only time. Like, Shelby was the only Black Pink Ranger. So you got to give props to that, because that's never happened ever, in Power Ranger history, which makes no sense. How did you feel about Mystic Force? So they tried very hard to stick to the Magi Ranger script. Yes, the Magi Rangers were all siblings. And, their father, Blazel, being the strongest warrior and, trying to deal with, the demon beast underworld. Like, all of that stuff was kept kind of in Mystic Force. The only difference is that the kids weren't related, except for the Blue and Pink Ranger were sisters. And that they worked at a record shop, and like they kind of I don't know, they tried to make it cool and hip, but then throw magic into it. And some episodes weren't bad, and some episodes were like, what the hell? So on the scale of 1 to 10, I'll give it like a 5. It wasn't bad. It wasn't necessarily good. It was like in between. So I didn't have a problem with it. A lot of people hated the opening theme song. I really liked the music they played though when they fight, which is like an instrumental version of the opening theme. I did like that music, but quite frankly, I hate the Dino Fury theme song. I hate it. It's auto-tuned and it sounds like garbage. I love the morph. I love the morph music. I think this is the best morph I've ever seen. I love the SPD's morph and a few of the other ones, but I really, really love the Dino Fury morph. It's so Tron meets Time Ranger to me, and you can see them in the morphing grid. It's cool. I don't know why they have to say link to the morphing grid, but they actually the first, I don't know if they're the first series. I think they're the first series we actually saw the Morphing Masters though. Though I did say this a lot in my review. I came up with this. If you hear this anywhere else, I said this first. So people are taking this from me. I know why they called it Dino Fury and not Dino Knights. And it's because those dinosaurs were ticked the hell off because the Morphin Masters just came and all the dinosaurs were coming up to the hedge. And then they were like, I'm picking your spirits and putting them in there. They didn't ask these dinosaurs permission. They just did it. That's why the dinos are furious. They shorten it to Fury. Dino Fury. That's what that's about. It don't have anything to do with Power Rangers. It just has everything to do with the Dino Hedge. Said it here first, guys. Said this weeks ago. Probably a month ago. Said it first. So if anybody else says this, it came from me. Let's see. Shelby, the queen, is a leader. I can see that. It would be interesting if they had a family-based team in Power Rangers. Yeah, and like they always have siblings. Like even in Dino Fury, the green and black are step siblings. They had adopted siblings in Ninja Storm because that's what Blake and Hunter were. Again, in Mystic Force, Madison and Vita were sisters. I'm trying to see if there's any more. Were there other siblings? There were the twins in Operation. In RPM. Gold and Silver were twins, fraternal twins. I can't go by like Betty and her brother and Beast Morphers because they were side characters. But yeah, they might. I think they are the only siblings that we've seen, which is interesting because in Ninja Steel, the Red and the White Ranger were siblings and they weren't related at all in Ninja Steel. But Ninja Steel was a very problematic show to me. It was just stupid and boring. I didn't like it. I just didn't like Ninja Steel at all. Which is like, I'm not saying Ninja was like the best show ever. It was campy. It was fun, but I enjoyed it because it was silly. Just like I love Tokager. I love, everything about it. The power of imagination. Some people don't like it. I really enjoyed that show. But Ninja Steel just came off trying to do too much. And then the idea of people watching them like they're watching you on like on a game show. I don't know. It was just stupid to me. I did not like that show at all. Did I hate it like I hated Megaforce? No. It's up there on the I don't like list, but Megaforce was the one I really despised. Okay. Let's see. Megaforce theme has grown a lot on people. I think in 5 years, the Dino Fury theme will grow on a lot of people. A lot of people actually like the Dino Fury one now. I don't know why, but I don't. I do not like it at all. I don't. I mean, they could have spent their money a lot more wisely and got someone a lot better to do their theme song, because that was crap. We need another main female villain. Haven't had a good one since Trakina or Odious, I guess. That tracks. Yeah, I can see that. I would like for them to take Amelie from Garo and make her, because she was a cool villain, and make her a villain in Power Rangers. I could see that. I watch Power Rangers for the whimsical and wholesome content, and they haven't let me down yet. The only problem I have with Power Rangers is like what I have with other kids shows. It's not as progressive as it should be, because it excludes a lot of people in this world and act like they don't exist. But outside of that, it's great. Let's see. In RPM, the Black Ranger and the villain. Yes. Dylan, I think his name was. And I forgot her name. She played Mary in the show Rain. Adeline something. And that might be her real name. But yeah, they were siblings. And she was brainwashed or something like that. And in Power Rangers Space, Andros and what was her name? She went on to be Lost Galaxy Pink when the previous Pink, played by Valerie, her name just went right out of my head too, ended up getting cancer in real life. She replaced her. Corone, I think her name was. Yeah, Corone. Andros and Corone were siblings. And we're both Rangers, but just not at the same time. Red and gold, not white. I thought Ninja Steel was incredibly creative. Red and gold, not white. No. In the Ninja, red and white were siblings. The Red Ranger's little sister. And then their father was actually a Red Ranger as well. And so was their grandfather. The Gold Ranger was no relation to them at all. All of the ninjas were cousins, except for Red and White were siblings. And they were all competing to be the last ninja, because that's what their grandfather was. The Gold Ranger was a cowboy whose family was killed by like some kind of wolf monster or something like that. And so he trained to be a ninja, and he was allowed to enter the competition by the grandfather eventually. But yeah, I don't know what red and gold you're thinking about, but if we're talking about ninja, you're probably talking about actual Ninja Steel, how the red and gold were brothers in the series. So right, they were siblings, but in Ninja, it was red and white. Hi, Mr. J. Okay. Mystic Force, not Mega Force. I'm confused. Like, I'm sorry. I don't know what we're talking about. I hate Beast Morphers. The Rangers were idiots, along with Connection, Devin, and Moron, along with the Zord battles. Why not access all 6 Zords? Trust me, if you start going down the logical trail with Power Rangers, you're going to be here all day. Like, all day. Because at the end of the day, villains are not trying to kill the Power Rangers. I have said this in so many reviews. If the villains were trying to kill the Power Rangers, they would just kill them. Case in point, my favorite example to use is when Tommy is fighting and the putties come and they push him to the ground and they take these scissors and they cut off a piece of his hair to go and make a clone to destroy him, when all they had to do was take said scissors and plunge it into his jugular. They aren't trying to kill the Power Rangers. They have never been trying to kill the Power Rangers. It's why Rita she let them go to school. She let them have dances. She let them sleep. They are not trying to kill the Power Rangers. None of these villains are. They're not. They're very respectful. These villains literally let them transform and introduce themselves. The same in Sentai. Do you know how long these intros are? I'm like, the villain just sitting here like, okay, this is 5 minutes. I'll never get back. Because like, you got to have your color. You got to have your name. You got to say your team. You got to pose. You got to have fire that flies behind you or colors that fly behind you. Come on. You're not trying. But we like it. We like seeing people in spandex get the crap beat out of them. I don't know. It's just something we like. I love Power Rangers. I love Sentai. I love all of it. But let's not talk about the fact that the villains are not trying to kill them. So Garo's a little bit more adult. So that one they are trying to get, because there are a lot of demons and they're trying to eat them. So that's a different beast. Some versions of Kamen Rider can get very, very graphic, especially Kamen Rider Amazon. If you watch that on Amazon, you'll see what I'm talking about. But Power Rangers, Super Sentai, they're not trying. They're not trying. The earlier days, they did kill Rangers. I think it was Live Yellow that got killed. Pretty sure. And they had to replace Live Yellow. And it was pretty graphic. But like the later times, they ain't trying to die. They're not trying to die. If you throw somebody off of a 14-foot building and they crash on cement, they are dead. But not in Super Sentai and not in Power Rangers. When you slice Zato with a sword, he is dead. He got sliced unmorphed. He should have been dead. But no, he had a little burn. They're not trying. Not trying. Not trying. I got scripts for the Lord Maria. They are a bomb and explain all Megaforce. Hey, I would love to see those scripts. Like I said, I already rewrote that show in my mind because I was like, this is garbage. I can't do it. I can't do it. Can't do it. All right, what time is it? All right, so guys, I'm gonna move the stream to 5:30 if you guys are okay for our wonderful Snyder Cut chat, because I think that one's gonna take a little bit longer. I just have a commitment at 8 because I have to do a live chat with someone. So I think we can get a good hour and a half chat out of that one. Plus, I think these people will be gone by then, which is another reason I'm doing this. They are making so much noise outside of my house that is driving me insane. So I'm going to, everybody usually shuts down in our office complex, our apartment complex around 5-ish. So I think 5:30 is a very safe time. I think if I do it at 4, though, they're still going to be out here. And they are literally banging on my window, and I don't know why. So I'm going to do that. So if everybody's down with that, hopefully that's not going to put anybody out. I know it's a little bit later, 5:30. I'm on Central Standard Time. Again, if you can't catch it live, guys, the first half of a review is actually the review. Then we just talk. So you're not missing an entire thing. Not saying I don't want you to listen to it. I'm just saying that you don't feel pressure to catch it live if you're not able to, especially if you're in a time zone where it's a lot later or earlier for you. But it's also streamable. So I'm really hoping that people see that this stream actually went on, because it did cut out for a minute and then it just kind of continued. So we'll see what happens with that. But hopefully we will not have that problem with the Snyder Cut, because we have a lot to talk about with the Snyder Cut. I'm excited, and I just don't want to have this. This is very distracting to me. So I don't want to have that today. So I'm going to cut this one loose because we're almost at 3:00. We're over 2 hours. We've had a good chat about Batwoman. We've had a good Power Ranger chat, good Arrowverse chat, good life chat. Love talking with you guys. You guys are amazing. And we will pick this up again at 5:30, which will be in 3 hours and 8 minutes. So give you a little break from Maria until I come back and bombard you with more stuff again. So yay. Love you guys. I will talk to you guys later. And if you want to continue a conversation on anything, make sure to put it in the comments. And if you can, like the video, because everybody likes to have friends. I mean, we just like having friends. And YouTube likes to know that we have friends. I don't know why. It's just their stupid algorithm. So yeah, help a girl out. All right. Love you guys. Have a good day. See you in a bit.